The Pittsburgh Steelers have just signed one of the most versatile and fastest running backs in the entire NFL. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers have agreed to a contract with running back Kenneth Gainwell. But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, Kenneth Gainwell is now a Pittsburgh Steeler, as he has agreed to a one-year contract with the team per Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports. So, financial terms aren't currently known, but Gainwell spent the past 4 years with the Philadelphia Eagles, taking a third down and a backup role in 2024 behind Saquon Barkley. Looking at Kenneth Gainwell this past season, in 2024, he carried the ball just 75 times, but he put up 290 yards and 1 rushing touchdown, while chipping in 16 receptions. He also worked on the kick return unit, averaging a solid 25.3 yards per return on 18 attempts. Kenneth Gainwell did damage against the Pittsburgh Steelers in their Week 15 win, picking up multiple third down conversions through the air, and he finished the game with 7 rushes for 20 yards, but 3 receptions for 40 yards. So, in 4 years with the Philadelphia Eagles, Kenneth Gainwell has recorded 280 carries for 1,185 yards and 12 rushing touchdowns. So, that is basically an average of a starting running back carries in one season, and he put up over 1,000 yards. So that is a decent amount for a backup running back who's mostly only in on pass catching downs or to relieve someone if they're tired or just third down in general. So Kenneth Gainwell, he also in that span of 4 years caught 102 passes with 1 receiving score and a total of 721 yards. So looking at Kenneth Gainwell, he's a 5th round pick out of Memphis. Pittsburgh Steelers showed interest in him during the pre-draft process when he was drafted, and the latest in a long line of free agents the team has circled back to. So, usually when the Steelers show interest at people during their pro days, during the pre-draft, they end up kind of going back to them and signing them once they hit free agency for the first time, and that's what they do with Gainwell right here. Gainwell put up big numbers in Memphis in 2019. He rushed for nearly 1,500 yards and 16 total touchdowns. So, he's coming out of college as a really good player, and the Pittsburgh Steelers showed interest in him for a reason, but they just never ended up drafting him. He was a player coming out of college who I really liked, and I had the Pittsburgh Steelers actually targeting, but that just never ended up happening, and they never ended up drafting him. But he was a player who could catch the ball, could run the ball. He was a little bit undersized for a starting running back, but he was a player who was really, really good. It may have been a player who was playing out of position in terms of a wide receiver turned running back, but he made the most out of it, and he showed why he was a running back. So, the Steelers add a space player at the running back position. This is what I think of him. He is an effort guy, and it gives the offense more explosiveness. The Pittsburgh Steelers now have 2 running backs on the roster and main guys thus far who are explosive guys. For example, when you look at Jaylen Warren, what was Jaylen Warren's role on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Well, last season and however many years he's been here, his role was to be that kind of energy presence. He comes in whenever Najee Harris doesn't want to be on the field because he's tired or because Jaylen Warren is doing really good. He's out there and he's going to be the explosive running back. He's going to be the guy who picks up yardage, the guy who catches the ball, guy who is just explosive and someone who could be a space player. So that's what Jaylen Warren's role was on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now the Steelers have another guy in Kenneth Gainwell who's the exact same thing. It's going to be interesting to see how Jaylen Warren's role changes with the Pittsburgh Steelers now that Najee Harris isn't here. Is he going to get more of a workload? Are the Steelers going to go out and add another running back? But as of right now, they don't have another running back. So is Jaylen Warren going to slot into the Najee Harris role and be the every down running back? And then Kenneth Gainwell is going to be the Jalen Warren role, where he comes in and relieves him of his duties. But it's be interesting because Jalen Warren was that pass catching running back. So now is Kenneth Gainwell going to take the pass catching duties away from Jalen Warren, and Jalen Warren's being more a strictly running back? It's just be interesting to see. But this addition of Kenneth Gainwell isn't going to take away the fact that Pittsburgh Steelers can still add someone in the draft at running back or add someone else in free agency. And if they do that, then maybe Kenneth Gainwell slots into the Cordell Patterson type of role, and then Jalen Warren's back in his natural role. But who knows? I expect to see more time on the field for Jalen Warren 100% because Najee Harris is gone, and just later towards the end of the season, that's what they're doing anyway, even with Najee Harris on the team. But it's going to be interesting to see how Kenneth Gainwell is used because of this, and what his role is, because his role is basically what Jalen Warren's role was for his whole career. So it's going to see what Gainwell brings to this team, but it's going to be the space player, the explosiveness, the pass catching abilities, and the versatility that he brings. That's the type of running back that the Steelers just got in Kenneth Gainwell, and we're going to have to wait and see how he's used. So Gainwell is the second reported free agent to agree to a deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers, joining former Baltimore Ravens inside linebacker Malik Harrison. Cornerback Darius has reportedly agreed to terms with the Steelers, but other reporters have disputed that, saying that the two sides haven't finalized a deal, and that he hasn't even been released by the Eagles yet. I could get more into it in a different video, but that's what's going on right now with the Pittsburgh Steelers in free agency. And let me just talk about Najee Harris really quickly, because he signed with the Los Angeles Chargers yesterday for a deal, and the deal was reported to be $9 million per year, $9.5 million. But it was reported now that it's like $4 million, and it could reach up to $9 million based off incentives and things of that nature. But Najee Harris, he was a good Steeler. He was drafted in the first round, probably a wasted first round pick on a running back. You don't really want to do that. The Steelers did that, and it didn't work out. He was only here for 4 years, didn't pick up the 5th-year option. So it was basically a message sent that, hey, he wasn't going to be back this season, that they're going to go out and have to look for someone else in free agency. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to look for someone else in free agency. They're giving a bigger role to Jalen Warren. But Najee Harris, while he was here, had 1,000 yards for 4 straight seasons. So you can't discredit that. But at the same time, it's time to move on. He just didn't fit the system anymore. And he just didn't want to be here at the price that the Steelers wanted him back at. Or maybe the Steelers didn't want him back in general. Who knows? So he moves on to the Los Angeles Chargers. Wish him well. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are moving on, and now they probably look at different options. That people left in free agency who I would really want at the running back position to fill the Najee Harris role would be Nick Chubb. If the Steelers could get Nick Chubb and he could get back to his old ways, it's a good flyer to take on a guy. Bet on him, see if he get back to where he used to be, and if he does, then he'll win the best running backs in the NFL. So I would target Nick Chubb in free agency at the running back position. That's just my thoughts on this topic. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, they add a guy in Kenneth Gainwell, and let's see if they're done shopping at the running back position. I don't think they are, but they have barely made any moves so far, so they're still waiting on the quarterback decision, whether that's Aaron Rodgers or bring back Russell Wilson. They're still waiting on the quarterback, and they can't really make too much moves until they know who their quarterback is, so this is delaying everything. But this move was made. Calvin Austin on X basically put out an M tweet, and we all wondered what that meant. It stood for Memphis, and Calvin Austin and Kenneth Gainwell, they both played at Memphis together, so there was an underlying message there, and I guess he knew before everyone else that he was coming to Pittsburgh, and he officially does come to Pittsburgh on a deal. So they agreed to terms with Kenneth Gainwell, and he'll be the running back 2 or maybe 3 of the Steelers going into next season. Anyway, this is the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this edition of Kenneth Gainwell and the versatile and speedster at the running back position. Do you like the addition? Do you not like the addition? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on who else would you add to this team in free agency at the running back spot or just any other spot. And also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis, reports. Everything surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers, I cover it. So make sure you stay tuned for every new edition with highlights and analysis. The highlights and analysis on Kenneth Gainwell is coming shortly, so stay tuned to that. But every new player, I'm on it. And every player so far, I've been on it. And every player we lost, I've been on it. So subscribe, turn notifications, like the video. And until the next video, probably later on today, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.